We all ready? All righty. Travis? Are we live? Okay. All right, I'll call the meeting to order at 6:02. Roll call. Vicky?
Yep.
Nick?
Here.
Alan?
Here.
John?
Here.
Derek?
Here.
Terry?
Here.
And Christy is here. I'm getting an echo back. Is that okay? Do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty. Okay. I have the approval of the agenda for January 20th, regular school board meeting as presented.
Also move.
I'll second.
Motion by Terry, second by Derek. Roll call vote. Vicky?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And Christie's yes. Motion passes. Board committee and special meeting reports. Finance committee?
We met last Friday, and there's a couple agenda items coming up that were topics that we discussed, so we'll talk about those a little bit more when they get there. Is there anybody on finance that wanted to say anything else? Okay.
Sorry. Are you on, Lori?
I am.
Okay. Go ahead.
Right. With our PLCs, our OGMA students, as they return in person during January and February, will be looking at completing the mid-year assessment with students. Teachers are going to then look at that information to help with flexible groupings for additional support that our students may need. Our teachers are continuing to work with our literacy coaches as well on their individual and PLC goals. On our January 15th and 18th planning days, our paras were on site. We did have childcare available for our Tier 1 approved students. We had meetings with teachers to go over new daily schedules, the expectations and routines. Teachers were able to take some time to work through the schedules, plan with their team on how they're going to include the students who are continuing to choose distance learning only, what that will look like in their daily routine as we have the in-person learners back in the building, and then working through the daily routine to ensure that we're taking those steps for social distancing and precautionary measures as we make those transitions back. A continued thank you for the flexibility and patience of our staff, students, and families as we have had quite a few transitions throughout this year. With our school management and function, our attendance for December is 97.17%. Recognitions, I would like to recognize December Students of the Month. We have Abraham Ortiga, Lydia Heinonen, Kenzie Bilden, Coralie Rabidou, and Seth Hisgen in kindergarten. First grade, Skylar Hanks, Katie Tilton, Madeline Hoban, Brennan Ashley Villebren. Second grade is Jalen Spaeth, James Davidson, Walter Belcourt, and Vanessa Ortiga. And then third grade is Michael Turner, Jayla Durant, and Naya Ashley Villebren. Would also like to recognize next week is Paraprofessional Week, and just to take time to thank all of our paraprofessionals because they also have been doing quite a bit of transitioning this year. Tremendous job jumping into childcare and helping out not only with the schedule with that, but making sure that the kids were able to log on to sessions and helping them with academics in between doing other activities as well throughout the days. So a big thank you again to our paraprofessionals. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Nope, glad to hear things are going well, though.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, Eric, are you on?
I am.
Hey, go ahead.
All righty. Under staff development, much like Lori stated, we did the planning and all that, but we've also established weekly check-ins, as well as our PLCs in response to our teachers wanting more face-to-face time with each other. We're still focused on success criterion, individual growth and development goals, and maintaining rigor via distance learning. I do want to thank, as part of our preparation, besides the staff or besides the teaching staff, I want to thank Dan Gunther and the custodial crew for helping make accommodations to ensure the safety of our students. If you haven't walked through the elementary classrooms, you will see that there's just been a lot of different things to make sure that they're all back and safe. And then I also want to give a huge thank you to Michelle Heisler. She did a tremendous job of ordering PPE for our transition back, and even to the point of just last week, still making sure everything, all dots or all I's were dotted and all T's were crossed. So school is a busy place, practices, and then also with the return of our students, good to have the building rocking like that. I included the attendance reporting and the discipline reporting. We are expecting both of those numbers to go up, unfortunately, for the discipline reporting. As far as recognitions go, I want to congratulate Noah Schneck and Elena Gary for being selected as the AAA winners or recipients for Waubun School. The winners will be invited to a banquet in February where the regional recipients will be announced. And again, once those kids have deserved it, but also want to thank Tim Spaeth for the work he did in selecting and helping with the selection process of these two. And then I don't have my 4th through 6th students of the month yet. I'll make sure to put them in the next board report. But Caitlin Keyser is our January senior student of the month. You guys have any questions for me?
I don't think so. Things seem to be going well.
They are. Yeah, it's been a good transition back. Our kids are excited. Just some beginning of the term kind of deal. A little couple of reminders here and there. Mr. Martinez has got to get a little meaner, I guess, but it's all going well.
How many students do we have coming in today of 7 through 12?
7 through 12.
Approximately.
Well, it's hybrid, so you're looking at half of them. You got about 11% back that are still distance. So you're looking at about, I would say, 100 each day, 75, 712 each day. Yeah.
All righty. Well, thank you, Eric. Okay, assessment and data coach grant coordinator Charlene, I see you were on.
I am.
Ready to go?
I'm ready to go. As far as my board report, I just wanted to let you know, as far as our MCA and MTAS testing for the year, as of right now, the federal government has not issued a waivers to the states to not test. So I have to go with the assumption that we still have to test and prepare accordingly. We'll find out more about that later. Plus, ACT testing is a go-ahead. They've given us the green light to test in groups, and that will happen March 30th. And it could potentially be a very large group with the seniors this year and the juniors. So I've been talking with the kids to find out who is still interested and give that same spiel to the juniors and let them know what's coming up. We'll be starting, some of the teachers held off a little bit till we get Ames Webb, Star, and Fauci Spinell, just to kind of get the kids back a little bit, get them in the groove, and then we will be doing those winter mid-year assessments to see exactly where everybody is at. And as far as grants, both of the mid-year progress reports for the CLSD grant had been sent in for birth to grade 5 and then 6 through 12. And expenditures to close out the Circle grant are almost complete. We've got less than $500 to go. And as you know, from earlier this year, Michelle had said that we'd received a little over $100,000 of additional funding. So that was a really nice chunk of money to deal with. Any questions? Not a whole lot right now. It's been busy though.
The ACTs, who's paying for that? Are we still paying for those?
Yes.
Alrighty. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Shirley. Business Manager, Michelle.
Okay. Just a quick note here, we have bond payments that that did go out. They're due next week, but we try to get them in the mail and get them to Bond Trust Services so they can go ahead and book everything and get everything in their system in a timely fashion. So those have been mailed out. You'll see those on the new reports next month for the bills. Scholarship awards, a ton of requests coming in from the students. Most of the awards have been issued. I have a couple stragglers coming in, but everything for Raitan, Hago, Ryant, and most of the Ethan Berry scholarships have been issued except for a few. So we did have a construction cost review meeting last week with ICS again. It went through everything. We did it in October and that helped a lot. And so we did that again. Found just one minor discrepancy. It was just something that I had paid that they didn't have a copy of yet. And actually, I think he found out after that he did have a copy of it. So we're good. Everything seems to be going well there. We're tracking, good percentage with completion and with our expenditures, and then have a pretty substantial amount of our contingency budget left yet. So you'll hear more about that as we continue to move through this new construction phase and move into the remodel phase. So I do have a budget revision being presented later on, so I'll go more in depth into that. And then something exciting, it may not be very exciting to you guys, but it was exciting for me. The Northwest Service Co-op and Region 1 are getting together, and they're actually hosting an opportunity for school business officials one time a month to get together via Zoom and share ideas, talk about new rules, talk about things like what are you doing in your day-to-day job, how to handle the ESSER dollars or this or that. So a really good networking experience and with colleagues in this Northwest Minnesota area that are dealing, with some of the same issues that we're dealing with. And so with Region 1 being involved, you're going to get the good technical information that you need, and they're going to give you the supports that you need. And so these two services joining together to bring us all together is phenomenal, I think, and hopefully we'll be able to share ideas and I'll be able to get some new ideas maybe and so on. So I was really excited about it. Impact aid application is done. This is our application for next year's fiscal year 22 revenue. The deadline is 2/1/21, but being that they provided us the flexibility to carry those student counts forward, I really just had to run a few reports to pull some new numbers because they want to look at last year's expenditure costs and things like that. So you were required to update those, but you could hold your student counts the same, which really benefited us for this next application round. And so when that gets approved later on in the agenda, then we'll go ahead and get the new IPP uploaded into the application, and then we'll get that submitted before the end of this week. So we get that in and no issues with that, and then that's done. And otherwise, it's just been a lot of, like Eric said, PPE, getting ready for the kids to come back to school, continuing to troubleshoot some issues that we're having, what little things that maybe we didn't think about or, didn't know that we needed that, or things not coming in quite right when the kids were here. And so getting that distributed finally to where it needs to go and stuff. And so, and then just working with the closeout of some of the grants and some of the timing of the funding. There's been a lot of MDE surveys on reporting how you're spending your funds and things like that with the CFR dollars and some of the different funding. They've got reports that are due to the federal government. And so in order for them to do their reporting, we have to report as the local entities to the state. So then the state collects all of our information from us as school districts and then reports to the feds. And so, so we've been having to meet some of those deadlines too. So it's been busy, but any questions?
Nope, I don't think anybody has any. Okay, thank you very much, Michelle. And Superintendent Weber.
Most of my report was to go over the learning plan update, but we're going to wait on that for now. But I did want to thank the paraprofessionals We've got Paraprofessional Week coming at the end of the month, and want to very much thank everything that the paraprofessionals do for us, for serving students and families. They are a big part of the WOWE team, and we are very, very thankful for them. And then Christy, did you want to speak a little bit to that, or just talk about tabling that for now?
The learning plan. I have some information that I think that we need to go over first, and before we're going to talk about the transition. So we're going to put that into a committee meeting, this transition plan. The case counts per 10,000 are really doable and really good. So I was asking about grade 7 through 12.
Oh, yes, sorry.
I was asking for grades 7 through 12 to come in person prior to this projected to remain in hybrid. I think you have them remaining in hybrid for a while.
Yeah, it would be after the elementary roll-in is completed.
So we proposed, Lisa and I came to the conclusion that we need to probably have a visit with MSBA and Terry Morrow from MSBA lawyer that I spoke with this afternoon. So we're just going to table that until we can schedule that meeting. Okay. And then I think that was it. Did you want me to say more? Or did you want me to? Okay.
So everything still stays the same with the elementary, but if you're just talking high school stuff, correct?
Yes. Yes. Yep. I was because the high school coming back 7 to 12, I think is important, especially when our numbers are going way down. So there's some technicalities in there that we have to discuss as a board too as well at a different time when we get the correct information. That's because she's hearing one thing, I'm hearing another, and so we all need to get on the same board with where it's coming from. So that's the main thing with that. Okay.
So to clarify, second and third grade will come back on the 25th
Yeah. First
for,
on February 1st, isn't it?
oh, February 1st. I already said that today. I already screwed this date up once. Okay, so, but then this meeting you're anticipating is going to take place either like soon, I would imagine.
Very
Okay,
soon,
and then
yeah.
we'll call some sort of a meet. Perfect, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. And they will be online, or not online, but they'll be, remote. Well, how do you say that? Remote? I don't know. They'll call in.
Yeah, so I think making sure we have the accurate information to all the board members and making sure we get that all clarified and making sure we're comfortable with that information. And then we'll get that information out to the public.
Was that it, or do you have your vaccines?
Oh. Yeah, just also just to update a little bit on the vaccines that want to thank Wyeth Public Health. We have almost all of our staff who have wanted vaccines have been able to receive it. So thank you very much to Wyeth Public Health. They've done a fantastic job. So very, very thankful to them.
Did we have a lot that turned it down? Refused it?
Just a few, yeah. And it, that is a choice, and we honor that. And so, but we had most of our staff have taken it.
That's good. Just curious. I've heard the same. People refusing it. Just wondering how it was going here.
I got mine, and I haven't grown a third head or anything like that, so it's good. What? Not yet, right? Yeah. Is that it, Lisa? Yes. Okay, thank you. Activity, well, do we have an activities report? Must not. Okay, well.
Tim was Tim was very sick this past week and a half or so, so
Sure.
he apologizes for not having that. I assure you, everything is going pretty good. Numbers look great. And he, like I said, he was really busy working. He did work from home, but he was, if you haven't seen the guy, he doesn't look like his old self.
So
Um,
I got a quick question just on the sports and stuff. What are they doing for transportation to the games? They're allowing the parents to take kids too, right?
Busing primarily, I believe.
Most
So
of
they're
them.
also busing. Yep,
Okay.
we're still transporting. So I think we're going to the same with the transporting.
Okay.
Anybody know how that mask did when they were doing it in the games? How are kids doing with masks being required?
I know
think
that
it's-
initially we had some students not participate because of masks. So I know that that was some. I know that some, I've heard that some are adjusting, and I know that some are still struggling. So I think we've got the gamut. So I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in if,
It's not ideal, but for the most part, they're dealing with it. It's, you can definitely see some fatigue at time on the girls' face with it. Sometimes it falls below their nose, sometimes it's on their chin, but it's not like the refs are right there saying, hey, get it back up. But they're doing their best.
They also had the addition of, for girls, and I'm sure the guys are the same, but 5 timeouts per half, which helps when the coaches use them to help those girls get that extra breather. So they've tried to make some accommodations, but I agree with Nick, it's not ideal for them.
Is the school supplying the kids with the masks? And then have we looked into like maybe are there skinnier masks that still qualify as masks that would be much easier to breathe through?
They have actually, well, Elena told me anyway, so yeah, they have these black ones now that are not double plied, they're just single plied. And that's her preference, but yeah, they like, and it seems like a lot of the girls wear the black ones.
Yeah, I know
But yeah,
John Clark did some checking because Wisconsin is doing the same thing, and the best masks that they had found that was working best for their kids were the surgical type 1-ply masks. So they were looking into buying Under Armour masks, but for the money, not worth it.
Well, let's just hope that we don't have to do that much longer. Okay. I think that was all I had for activities. Anything else? Okay, Dan, are you on? Nope. Okay. Oh, you are? Okay, there you are. All righty. Do you have anything you want to present your report, please? Okay, yes, thank you so much. Anybody have anything, any questions? Okay. Thank you, Deb. Travis, how are you doing? Especially today. Does anybody have any questions? No fires, no nothing like that? Okay. Representatives, non-certified? Anybody here? Okay. Certified? Okay. All righty. Move on to 6.0, approval of the consent agenda.
Motion, Derek.
Motion by
Second.
Derek,
Nick?
second by Nick. Roll call, Vicky,
yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
you're on again. Am I hearing it? Are you guys getting the same echo?
I just turned on. I'm a yes.
Okay, Derek,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
and Chrissy's a yes, motion passes. Okay, down to 7.0, recognitions, and 7.1, Lori had mentioned, a big thank you to our paraprofessionals coming from the school board as well, that we appreciate everything that you do and, everything that you've been asked to do. I know it's this year has really been crazy, but we do appreciate everything that you do. 7.2 is thank you to everyone who volunteered their time to help with the Jingle Jamboree. And 7.3, Lori did her Students of the Month, so I won't repeat that. And Eric had congratulations to Caitlin Keyser, January Student of the Month. And also to congratulations to Noah Schneck and Elena Gary, being selected Waubun's AAA award recipients. Anybody want to add any other recognitions? Okay. Do we have anything for public comment? I don't have anything. Okay. So we move on to old business. We have no old business, and now we move on to new business. So we have the 10.1, approve Indian policies and procedures and impact aid application.
Yeah, the IPP was already passed actually twice this year. We went over it in detail in the summer when we worked on it with our IPP consultation. And then once again, we passed during federal programs. And so I don't know if we need to go over it in depth again. So that has been passed already twice, but we'll update it for the application to be submitted. And then if you recall the application, we got to use the same student counts as the prior year due to COVID. So 503 will be the final student count. Michelle's the one that does the application. Michelle, did you want to add to anything? Thank you to her, Michelle, for the work she does on the impact aid application. That's a lot of work. And the funds actually do help our students a lot. So thank you, Michelle.
A motion, Derek.
Second.
Motion by Derek to approve the Indian policies and procedures and impact aid application. Second by Nick. Okay, roll call vote. Vicky,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
and Christie's a yes. Motion passes. 10.2, approve resolution to extend FFCRA leave for employees until March 31st, 2021.
You see two pieces of data related to this agenda item. The first one is information that says status of Family First Corona Response Act. This is, information that talks about extending the FFCRA leave. And I think the important thing about this extends leave. It doesn't add leave. So this is for staff for COVID-related leave who has not used their leave. So the original FFCRA leave expired in December. And so this is for those staff that was not able to utilize that leave or may have some hours left. And this comes under that COVID Response Act to give employers the opportunity to voluntarily offer this to their employees. And so there is, MSBA came up with a resolution to pass this and offer it to their employees. They'd recommend that we do that. It is a way for us to continue to support. We are able to use ESSER funds to support staff in their leave. Are there questions for me or?
Okay.
Second,
Approve,
Derek.
approve the resolution to extend FFCRA leave for employees until March 31st, 2021. The motion by John Zimmer. Excuse me. Second by Derek. Roll call vote. Vicky,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Christie's a yes. Motion passes. 10.3, approve lane change request for Jordan Spade. I think that's self-explanatory, isn't it?
Motion.
Motion by Nick, second.
Second, Derek.
Second by Derek to approve lane change for Jordan Spaeth. Roll call vote. Vicky,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
And Christie's a yes. Man, I can't wait till we can go back to say all in favor. That's right, our meetings will be cut in half. 10.4, approved donation from Bell Bank for $500.
Bell Bank has made a donation to support our incentives program. And I've kind of explained this before, but our incentives program related to wellness and family engagement to help students celebrate growth and success as they transition back to in-person learning. Anyways, that's just a donation to help our kids as they continue to achieve.
Motion?
Motion by Derek. Oh, sorry.
Motion by Al, second by Derek. Roll call vote. Vicky,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Christie. Motion passes. 10.5, approve second reading of the revised fiscal year 2021 budget.
We met with the finance committee to go over this with them on Friday morning, right?
Michelle, mute real quick, see if your computer's doing it. Oh,
There, it's off. Who's doing it?
I was just seeing if it was Michelle that's computer was doing it. Go ahead and get back on, Michelle, see if it is yours.
Is it?
Sorry, Michelle.
Right when we're talking about the budget too, right?
We didn't plan this, I promise you. I was gonna say, is Tammy's computer right by you, Michelle? Or does somebody
Not
have a
that
computer?
close.
Or does somebody have a computer right by you?
I'll just take one. Okay, can everybody hear me now? Yes, better?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we met with the finance committee meeting Friday morning to go over their new revenue projection, and really nothing has changed since the first time I presented this at last month's board meeting. Except for that the additional, this is the wrong one, Tammy. Should be this one. Should be this one. I'll pass this around. So basically, the only change from the first reading last month was an additional 110,000 allocated via the Striving Readers Grant that Charlene did talk about. And then I did talk to the finance committee a little bit about Pathway 2 and where we're at with that funding. It's not a huge amount of funding, but Pathway is a source of scholarships that go towards families. And because of the learning model that we're in, we have a lot of our little guys, the EC Kickstarters, that are still distance learning in an in-home daycare situation. And so they need to be able to pay for daycare services yet. So typically those scholarship funds would go ahead and roll into the school because they're not attending daycare anymore. And then we can build that scholarship for our services to educate those kids while they're in our care. But because of the unique situation that we have, and then there's some qualifications for families, and not everybody always meets those qualifications as far as free and reduced income and things like that. And so so just, you know, kind of a whole combination of all of the different factors just, you know, really drove that revenue down. And so again, like I said, we're allocated the 34.5, which has been stable every single year, but we are only able to allocate 2 scholarships, and so $7,500 is what our revenue will be. I'm confident that the additional VPK dollars that we have will pick up what's not covered or what's lost income wise for the pathway scholarships, and then we also have learning readiness dollars and some ECFE dollars that we can use to help supplement this program too. So. But other than that, you know, we looked at the ADM estimate last month, and we did a lot of that kind of work last month. So it's just kind of really refining those numbers and looking to make sure nothing was really missed. And I think I told you before, the potential purchase of property that we're looking at is in the budget, is in that the GASB set asides. And so I don't feel like that there's too much that's going to come up between now and the spring that's going to really catch us off guard and change these numbers. So I'm confident we'll come in with a positive fund balance pending any major issues. Any specific questions? Do you guys have the one in your packet that's dated 12/18? It should be the 113. I'm just going to hand this down.
I have 12/18.
Yeah, it should be the 113. Either I must have gave Tammy the wrong thing.
I got 114.
That's exactly what we went over in the finance committee.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That might be.
Okay. Do you guys know, you know, over now that we have a new president today, but anyway, you know, they're proposing in the new stimulus thing that there would be like 130 million. There's a lot of money out there for dedicated to education in schools. Do you guys have any idea about what that kind of would look like if it would happen to pass?
So that second round of the ESSER is not included in the budget, correct?
That was the note that I had on top, is we are getting a second round of ESSER funding. And it's like 4 times what we got the first round. So we're looking at, I believe, around 1.1 million for the second round of ESSER funding. And the cool thing about that is that it doesn't expire until fiscal year 23. So we can really be very strategic about it. And about how we're using those funds, because in all reality, we don't know where we're coming in the fall. We may be looking at PPE, social distancing, all of that kind of stuff yet. And so I think we want to be careful to make sure that we are not dipping into the general fund to buy those sorts of things. We want to use the resources that the state is giving us for those purposes. So, and those ESSER funds will also address summer programming, you know, loss of learning during the different distance learning models. And so if we want to use it for additional summer programming, we definitely have that option. There's a lot of flexibility with this funding, but I think we have to keep in mind that, you know, we've got to really work with what we've already got existing and try to wrap those things together, so we're not duplicating services, or we're not, you know, the whole supplement versus supplant. And we just have to be careful when we're looking at some of that stuff. But yeah, it's got a lot of different uses, and you know, I was telling Al earlier that we can use it for, you know, the different learning platforms. One of the math teachers uses Edpuzzle. So we've purchased that. Spelling City, you know, we've done PPE, we've covered essential childcare costs of having our staff, you know, out of their program running essential childcare. We don't get funding for that. And so those ESSER dollars are used to pay for those services, so, and those salary and benefit costs. So,
and that comes from the federal, distributed by the state, correct?
Correct. Yep. So the state gets a chunk, a lump sum from the feds, and then the state basically allocated that on the same kind of set a criteria that they allocated the first round. And so, everybody's getting its same proportionate share, every district. It's just that it's a lot more money that the federal government gave out for states to work with. But again, nice because we can kind of strategically lay that out over, we don't have to use it all this year. We can use that for next year too, so.
But
I think one of the things that we talked about for this next round, with maybe this next with under the Biden funds is, one of the areas that schools are losing a lot of money or potentially will lose money is that maintenance of effort, because we shift how we are using special ed staff. And so we're looking at, trying to give recommendations to, how can that look different than what we've gotten this round, these last two rounds. And so trying to give recommendations to how can we do it? Because kind of the funding requirements is, can that come in and look different, and can we use it differently? So that's some of the recommendations we're making, is that can this look different and fill in some of the areas that we're hurting that we can't use this money. And so that's what we're hoping to do, is it'll come in a different area.
And then the other thing with these COVID grant dollars that the state is issuing, the ESSER funds and stuff, that's all, you spend it first and then you claim it after you spend it. So it's all reimbursing your expenditures. So it's not, metered out in an allocation type format. It is truly something where you have to submit a budget, you submit a plan, a budget. There's certain criteria areas that they give you that you can spend in. You've got to explain that. And then you enter your budget into serves, and then you draw when you actually expend those funds. So they hold you very accountable for that.
Okay, any other questions for Michelle on this part? Do I have a motion to approve the second reading of the revised fiscal year 2021 budget?
Motion, Nick.
Motion by Nick, second.
Vicky.
Second by Vicky. Roll call vote. Vicky,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nick,
Yep.
Terry,
Yes.
Christie's a yes, motion passes. 10.6, approve purchase order 18296 from Khajiit in the amount of $22,297.63 to renew shared data plan Wi-Fi access for students.
This is to continue our contract with Khajiit for that Wi-Fi plan. And remember, one of the benefits for Khajiit Wi-Fi is that we can monitor Khajiit. We can turn it off, we can turn it on, we can monitor students when they're on there, how they're using their data if we need to. So while it tends to be a little bit expensive, it certainly is a cost that we need to occur to continue the kinds of remote learning we have going on and off, and that we need to do to support the plans that we have going. So recommend approval.
Motion.
That can come out of ESSER dollars?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Alrighty, do I have a motion?
Nick.
Motion by Nick, second.
Vicky.
Second by Vicky. Darn. Vicky,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nick,
Yep.
Mary,
Yes.
Christie's a yes. Motion passes. Approve the consignment agreement with KBID Independent Affiliate Johnston Trading Company LLC for a commission rate of 20% to sell the current ALC building.
This, to be clear, this would be at the end of the school year, but we need to start getting that process going. So at the end of the school year, then we would want to have that process all ready and done and in place. So we want to have the auction going on earlier, have it ready to go, ready to move as soon as school's out.
Okay. Do I have a motion? Who said that? John. Motion by John.
Second.
Second by Nick. Roll call vote. Vicky,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Harry?
Yes.
And Christie's a yes. Motion passes. 10.8, approve Johnson Controls quote in the amount of $24,474.23 for the Ogama clock systems.
This is finally getting to the last piece of the security grant project that was 2 years ago that we're finally starting to close out. So the parts that didn't work before, so getting the clock system, and then there'll be another about 7,500 for the electrical, coming to the February meeting, to finish out that security grant, that we had at the Waubun and Ogama site. Are there any questions on that? Or did
Motion,
Michelle?
Derek.
Okay.
Motion by Derek, second.
Second by Alan.
Second by Al. Okay. Hmm. There's no roll call vote underneath that. There's no roll call vote underneath it. Okay, so we'll go Vicky,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
and Christie. So that's a yes. Motion passes. Okay, so we have a 10.9 motion to approve. The next item on the agenda is a closed session pursuant to Minnesota statute 13D.05 subdivision 3C3, which allows the board to go into closed session to determine the asking price for real property. The property that will be the subject of the closed session is located 211 Uran Avenue, Ogama, Minnesota, and legally described as Lot 7-6. What? Lot 7 and east half of Lot 5, Block 6. Bomer and Kolb's second addition to the town site of Ogama. While in closed session, the board will review prior negotiations and will consider potential offers of the property. Pursuant to the law, I have cited as someone willing to make a motion to close the meeting.
Motion, Derek.
Motion by Derek, second. Second by Vicky. Roll call vote. Okay. Vicky,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Harry,
Yes.
Christie's a yes. Motion passes. We will close the meeting at 6:49 and begin recording. Okay. 11, succeeding meetings. We have 11.1, the regular board meeting is February 17th, 2021. However, and then we'll add another meeting for school improvement.
Yep, a committee meeting. And then I also want to mention that we will have the dedication of the media center for Mary Dorman on February 7th at 1 o'clock.
Right.
We decided, Terry? Yep. So and we're going to meet to go over the details on how we're going to do that and what that's going to look like, and we'll get out more information on that soon.
Are we going to have many people there, or how are you doing that?
I think we got to follow the rules for group meetings, but I think there's a way we can do it and still have a lot of people there. I talked a little bit with Travis, and I want to visit with Terry a little bit more. There's a couple different ways we could do that. And I want to kind of brainstorm with Terry first on how he wants to do that, but there's a way we can get people through. February.
It's Super Bowl day, but the Super Bowl's not till the evening, so it's a weekend. It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
This Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, we checked on the time.
Yeah. We checked on the time of Super Bowl, so. Are you on, Chris?
It's been a long day. Any other future considerations for the school board?
There is for the board members, there's seminars coming up, negotiation seminars and school board officers here in the first part of February. It's all online, so just a heads up. I checked the MSBA website, so.
You want to send out that link?
Yep, I can do that.
Okay. Do we have anything else? I have a motion to adjourn at 7:08.
Nick.
Motion by Nick, second.
Vicky.
Second by Vicky. Roll call. John?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
We are adjourned at 7:09. Thank you.